Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're breaking down a massive 2026 release that literally has the entire camera world buzzing right now, the Canon EOS R6V. We're going to unpack exactly what this thing is, why Canon built it, and honestly, what it means for the whole future of digital content creation.
So what actually happens when a photo camera and a cinema camera collide? Well, for a long time, the market's been pretty heavily split. On one hand, you've got these stills-first cameras that take stunning photos, but they'll overheat the second you try to record a long-form interview. Then, on the other hand, you have those massive, expensive cinema rigs that'll run all day, but they completely lack features like in-body image stabilization for run-and-gun shooting. Today's Explainer is all about the Goldilocks scenario, a camera that attempts to sit right there in the perfect middle ground.
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. Meet the creator hybrid. 2. Sensor and video superpowers. 3. Built for solo creators. 4. The missing features. And 5. Who is this for? Let's jump in.
Section 1. Meet the creator hybrid. Finding the perfect middle ground.
Released on June 24th, this camera comes in at a super competitive $24.99 for just the body, or $36.99 if you bundle it with the brand new RF 2050mm power zoom kit lens. As the second camera in Canon's V-series line, it belongs to a family built specifically for vloggers and modern content creators rather than your traditional still shooters.
And this pricing, it perfectly triangulates the R6V's spot in Canon's wider lineup. Think about it. For $2,499, yeah, you drop the electronic viewfinder, but you gain around 7.5 stops of in-body image stabilization, plus active cooling. It's a really calculated middle ground that neither of its siblings offer. You've got the photo-first R6 Mark III at $27.99 and the Cinema Focus C50 all the way up at $38.99, right? So the R6V sits perfectly between them as this ultimate compromise.
Section 2. Sensor and video superpowers. Shared DNA, unique output.
32.5. That is the exact megapixel count of the full-frame sensor shared across all three cameras, the R6 Mark III, the C50, and RR6V. What does that mean for you? Well, it means you're getting identical, absolutely beautiful Canon color science across the board. Reviewers are raving about the warm, accurate skin tones and incredibly clean low-light performance. It stays completely usable right up to ISO 6400, so the stills quality, essentially untouched.
But man, the video specs are where this camera really flexes its muscles. The R6V boasts internal 7K RAW recording at 60 frames per second and 7K at 30p in open gate. It also handles beautifully oversampled 4K at 60p. Now, shooting 7K open gate is a total game changer. It gives you the ultimate cropping flexibility for all those different social media aspect ratios, all from a single take. Just a quick warning though, 7K open gate is an absolute data monster. To put it into perspective, a 30-minute podcast recording will chew through hundreds of gigabytes. So yeah, you're going to want to bring plenty of hard drives.
And here's a number solo shooters are going to absolutely love, 15. Shooting in Canon Log 2 gives you roughly 15 stops of dynamic range. Basically, if you accidentally blow out your highlights or crush your shadows, which, let's be real, happens to the best of us, you have incredible flexibility to recover them seamlessly in post-production without losing any visible detail. It's like a safety net for your footage.
Section 3. Built for solo creators. Design that solves problems.
And this next part brilliantly illustrates how the body style solves specific creator pain points. There's a native vertical tripod mount built directly into the side of the camera. When you mount it vertically, the user interface automatically flips into portrait orientation. Guys, this is a massive, massive win for social media creators. You literally no longer need to buy, carry, or awkwardly attach a bulky L bracket just to shoot a vertical reel.
Also consider the robust, dust and drip-resistant weather sealing. What's kind of fascinating here is that this premium feature is completely absent on the $3,899 cinema-focused C50. Having this robust weather sealing means solo shooters can confidently take this camera outdoors and work reliably in the elements without constantly stressing about ruining their gear.
And then we have the internal active cooling design. Look, if you've ever had a mirrorless camera shut down from overheating right in the middle of a crucial hour-long podcast recording, well, you know exactly how frustrating that is. This active cooling fan solves that entire problem. It takes those massive 7K, 60p raw recording times and stretches them from roughly 1 hour all the way up to well over 2 hours. You'll also notice the completely flat top design. They've totally removed the traditional viewfinder hump, making way for 12 customizable buttons that all default to video functions straight out of the box. Plus, you've got this front-facing red record button right where your finger naturally rests, complete with a surrounding power zoom rocker switch. It just makes sense ergonomically.
Now, to handle all that intense data we talked about earlier, Canon went with a really practical dual-slot setup. You get one CF Express Type B slot specifically to handle the incredible data rates of those massive 7K files, and one standard SD UHS 2 slot for your smaller files or overflow.
Section 4. The missing features. What Canon stripped away.
So to maintain this absolute middle ground, certain things definitely had to go. First off, there's no electronic viewfinder, an EVF. That means shooting photography with long, heavy lenses is going to be kind of tricky since you're relying entirely on the rear screen. There's also no mechanical shutter, meaning fast-action photography might introduce some rolling shutter skew. And on the professional video side of things, there's no built-in timecode support and no Cinema EOS user interface. Basically, if those are must-haves for your workflow, you'll need to step up to the C50.
Section 5. Who is this for? Defining the target user.
So the crucial point is figuring out where you fit in. If you're predominantly a fast-action stills shooter, say you shoot sports or wildlife, you should absolutely stick to the R6 Mark III. You're going to want that viewfinder and that mechanical shutter for sure. But if you are a content creator doing professional video work solo, someone who needs impeccable full-frame quality, incredible stabilization, and literally zero overheating worries in a compact body, you are going to absolutely thrive with the R6V.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder today. Take a hard look at your daily workflow, your current gear, and the actual projects you're getting hired for. Are you a traditional photo hybrid, or are you a true creator? Think on that for a bit. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.